Hello, all you amazing spiritual people and healers. Today I'm going to talk about manifesting in the quantum field. And lately I've been talking a lot about creating wealth for yourself. And it is in the mind of a lot of healers that at least from history's sake, that a lot of healers were actually poor or lived in poverty or were in the position of having to beg. And we don't have to be a Mother Teresa where we give away everything and get help with donations and things like that. We can actually help create a comfortable living for ourselves by manifesting some sort of wealth. So stay tuned to hear more. This is Anastasia. I used to be a physics professor specializing in vibrational and quantum physics. After recovering from a serious illness using energy healing on myself, the calling to heal became so strong that I had to quit my 40-year research career. I replaced my six-figure professor salary within 5 months using a simple but not easy 3-step system that I worked out to grow my healing practice. Now I help other healers grow their practices, whether they're just starting or already have a practice, with this same 3-step system. I'm all about helping you too. Listen in to learn more. I'm so happy you're here today, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about the quantum field. What is it? Where is it? How do you get to it? And how to use it to create more wealth for yourself. So, there is a lot of misconception about what quantum means, and I spent about 40 years in research in physics, chemistry, studying vibrations of matter, which means that I'm very familiar with the idea of quantum physics and vibrations and what all that entails. So I said that to say this: the quantum world is here right with us. The reason why it got first coined was because when you get down to very, very small particles, like even subatomic, like protons, neutrons, electrons, and the things that those are made out of, you get very weird qualities. Like even taking a particle of sand, let's say, down to very, very tiny, tiny sizes, meaning there's only a few what we call unit cells in it. The surface to volume ratio increases dramatically, and the properties of the materials change dramatically. So when people ask you, how do you get to the quantum field? You can say, we're already in it. So what is the quantum field? It is the fabric of what defines our physical world, right? Our physical world is a lot less physical than you think. If we were to shrink down the entire earth and leave out all empty space, it would be the size of about 75 meters or 75 yards or 3/4 of a football field, right? It would be very, very tiny. That's how much empty space there is. So thinking that we're solid is a kind of a misnomer. And I said all that to say this, that the way the quantum field defines us allows us to define it, right? So that means that when you are using the quantum field or the world of quantum to start manifesting, the mistake that most people make when doing this is they don't define exactly what it is they want to create. Whenever I am creating something, like a program, for example, and how many people I want in the program and how many people I want to help and serve given a period of time, I write it down and I bring it into crystal clear clarity in my mind, right? So that is the first hint, is to sit down with pen and paper. Don't type it, write it down with pen and paper, because the physical act of writing is different than using your fingers to type. Trust me, I know this works. So that's the first thing. Let me get to the rest of my notes here. And so once you start creating it in your mind's eye and you draw it, or you start writing down all the components of what you want to create, it's a lot like the affirmations I talked about last time. Your entire being, starting with your subconscious, starts moving into helping create it. But not just you, but your surroundings and everything around you. And it starts to set things in motion. So when I create a program, let's say, and I decide on what I'm going to ask for in investment in exchange for what I'm helping people with. For example, I have a certification program, and I decided what I would charge for that. Then I also decided how many people I wanted in at a time, because it is a live program and I can only help so many people. So I decided that I would have 20 people, and I had 2 sections of 10 people each, so I could meet at 2 different times per week, and I would teach the exact same material in both sections. So that way people could come. If they couldn't make one, they could make another. And this way I was able to then create a secure income over the 2-year period in which the whole thing lasted. And I've now reduced it down to single year, but it allowed me to set an income for myself doing that particular thing, right? So this is the clue that you need to help create whatever income you want. You have to know exactly what it is that you're doing for it, right, to help bring it into reality. And then once you help bring it into reality, you decide exactly how much to bring in. And one of those affirmations that I said last time was all the times and all the ways $10,000 flows into my bank account every month, right? So you could use that and decide, because $10,000 will pretty much allow you to live in comfortably, even in Los Angeles, right? There are homes here that $10,000 a month, if you were to buy it or even rent it, you would be able to do that within your income range. And Los Angeles is one of the most, especially along the west side here. I'm about a mile from the coast. So it would allow you to live very comfortably no matter where you are, right? Maybe Hawaii not, for example, but here in the LA area will allow you to live very comfortably, and that usually means just about everywhere else in North America. So, and I lived in Germany for a long time, so I know that that is also a generous income there, and you can live comfortably there, even though they declare that that is an expensive place to live. So by being able to use the quantum field, meaning that you have this describes the fabric here, and you have influence over it. There are a number of experiments, thought experiments, that have shown that your thoughts can change the results of an experiment. So that means that your thoughts can change the results of your income, right? So I hope that gives you some insight into exactly what you can do. And why don't I just describe that experiment? I read about this in a book, and in the book it described an experiment in which there was a machine that had red and green flashes, and it was programmed to give, after 100 flashes, 50% red, 50% green. And experimenters told the people that were observing it to make sure that there were more red flashes than green flashes, and they influenced it up to, instead of 50 red flashes, it would have 55, which is a 10% difference. That's statistically significant. And if they asked them to make sure there were more green flashes, then sure enough, more green flashes would appear. So the thoughts of the observer, because when you put the observer into an experiment, you change the experiment, right? So as an observer in this quantum reality, you can change the results, right? And that's why sitting down and creating something is going to be extremely helpful for you. I know that it has been extremely helpful for me. So I hope that was helpful for you today, is to sit down with pen and paper and create the reality that you want to create for yourself and watch the magic happen. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much for taking valuable time out of your day to listen in. If you found this message helpful, please help spread the word by giving the broadcast a thumbs up or a 5-star rating. Share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe to my channel with your notifications on. For further training on healing and growing your healing business using my 3-step system, go to www.highpaidhealers.com. And I'll see you in the next video.